There was a time when the athlete who would eventually conquer the world was terrified of one of the most important elements in pair skating. Today, millions of fans know Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kihara as the legendary pair known as RikuRyu. They became world champions, Grand Prix final champions, and the most successful pair team in Japanese skating history. Their performances captivated audiences across the globe, and their names became synonymous with excellence. But behind the medals, the standing ovations, and the international success was a struggle that very few people knew about. Before the trophies and the celebrations, there was fear. A fear so powerful that it followed Riku Miura every time she stepped onto the ice. One of the defining features of pair skating is the lift. It is often considered the most spectacular element in the sport. A female skater is raised high above her partner's head, seemingly floating through the air with grace and confidence. To spectators, it looks beautiful. To athletes, it can be terrifying. The reality is that pair lifts carry significant risks. A mistake lasting only a fraction of a second can lead to a dangerous fall. Athletes trust each other completely while performing these elements at incredible speed and height. And in the early stages of her pair skating journey, Riku Miura was afraid. Every time she was lifted into the air, she had to battle the fear inside her mind. Looking at her confident performances today, it is almost impossible to imagine. Yet that fear was real, and it accompanied her through some of the most important moments of her development. But the challenges did not end on the ice. Moving overseas introduced an entirely different set of obstacles. A new country, a different culture, a language barrier, endless expectations, distance from family and friends, the pressure to succeed. According to coaches who worked with her during those years, Miura often struggled with homesickness. There were moments when loneliness became almost as difficult as training itself. While fans only saw the skater performing under bright arena lights, they never witnessed the quiet battles taking place behind the scenes. And this is where many people misunderstand what true strength really means. Strong people are not those who never experience fear. Strong people are those who continue moving forward despite being afraid. This is not simply the story of a world champion. It is the story of a young woman who refused to let fear define her future. Pair skating has long been considered one of the most demanding disciplines in all of sports. It requires much more than jumps and spins. Athletes must master throws, lifts, twists, death spirals, and synchronized movements that demand perfect timing. Physical ability alone is not enough. Success requires complete trust between two people. When Riku Miura transitioned into pair skating, Japan's pair skating program was far from dominant. Compared with powerhouse nations such as Canada, China, Russia, and the United States, Japan had relatively little history of success in the discipline. In many ways, she was stepping into unknown territory. The results did not come immediately. There were falls, mistakes, frustrations, countless hours spent repeating difficult elements. Progress was slow, and every new skill demanded patience. Yet she continued. Many people close to the team point to one major reason why. Ryuichi Kihara. Kihara's journey had not been easy either. His career was filled with setbacks, injuries, and partner changes. He understood disappointment. He understood uncertainty. Most importantly, he understood what it felt like to struggle while chasing an impossible dream. Because of those experiences, he was able to understand Miura in a way few others could. When she faced fear, he supported her. When challenges appeared, she trusted him. That mutual trust became the foundation of everything they would eventually achieve. Many people focus on their technical scores or their artistic excellence. Those accomplishments are certainly impressive, but the greatest strength of RikuRyu cannot be measured on a judging sheet. It is trust. Trust strong enough to overcome fear. Trust strong enough to survive years of sacrifice. Trust strong enough to transform two athletes into world champions. As their careers progressed, their performances reached another level. They developed not only world-class technical ability, but also extraordinary artistic expression. Their skating began telling stories that audiences could feel emotionally. That kind of connection cannot be created through technique alone. It comes from shared experiences. It comes from overcoming hardship together. It comes from understanding each other's struggles on a level few people ever will. That emotional authenticity became one of the reasons judges and fans around the world fell in love with their performances. Yet what makes their story truly remarkable is that it did not end after becoming world champions. In many ways, the hardest challenges came afterward. Injuries, illness, pressure, expectations. Every athlete dreams of reaching the top. Few realize how difficult it is to stay there. Once you become number one, everything changes. You are no longer chasing others. Others are chasing you. Throughout sports history, countless champions have struggled after reaching the summit. Success creates new pressure. Every performance becomes a test. Every mistake attracts attention. Every competition brings expectations. RikuRyu experienced that reality firsthand. But something had changed within Miura. The young skater who once feared lifts had transformed into someone entirely different. She had learned one of the most important lessons in sports. The greatest opponent is not another athlete. The greatest opponent is the version of yourself you were yesterday. Every fear she overcame became a source of strength. Every difficult training session made her stronger. Every lonely night abroad prepared her for future challenges. Looking back now, those painful experiences were not obstacles blocking her path. They were the path. And perhaps that is why so many fans connect with their journey. Their story is not really about medals. It is not even about championships. It is about something much more universal. People can change. Fear can be overcome. Trust can be stronger than talent. Those are the lessons Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kihara have shared with the world through their journey. When fans understand the human story behind the performances, every jump feels more meaningful. Every lift becomes more powerful. Every moment on the ice carries a deeper significance, because they know what it took to get there. They know that behind every graceful movement stands a young woman who once struggled with fear and uncertainty. And perhaps that is why watching Riku Miura soar through the air today feels so inspiring. It is proof of what becomes possible when courage is stronger than fear. And their story is far from over. New competitions await. New challenges lie ahead. New chapters are still waiting to be written. The world has already witnessed them reach the top. Now fans everywhere are waiting to discover what happens next. Whatever the future holds, one thing is certain. The legend of RikuRyu was never built solely on talent or medals. It was built on resilience. It was built on trust. And it was built on the courage to keep moving forward when giving up would have been easier.